Hi folks, today we're going to look at searching for images on the web, and your first instinct may well be to go to Google Images and do your searches there. So if we search for Vermeer's Girl with a Pearl Earring, you can see that there's a big problem. There's a huge number of variations of this particular artwork. So how do you find out which one is the most accurate representation of this artwork on the web? The popularity algorithm that Google uses isn't much help here, because you can see that most of these, to begin with, are shopping websites. And that's not what we want. If we go to the main page of Google with the search, you'll see that over here on the right hand side we have an image of it, and on the left we have an article from Encyclopedia Britannica and Wikipedia. But if you look closely at this image on the right, you'll see that it says Mauritshuis and Google Arts and Culture. Now, Google Arts and Culture is a variation of Google where it has partnered with museums and art galleries around the world to digitize their works and make them available online in very high quality images. So if we click on this, it will take us to the image in Google Arts and Culture. And over here on the right hand side, we can zoom in, and you can see that the zoom is really quite incredible, in terms of how close you can actually get to it. And by clicking and dragging, you can look around the image. So I'm going to zoom back out. And it tells us it's from the Mauritshuis in the Netherlands. Now, if I just go back, if we go to, oops, not that one, the painting as opposed to the film, again we can see there's the Mauritshuis Museum in The Hague. So if we scroll down, at this here, it gives us a link to the image on the Mauritshuis website. And it's already zoomed out. We zoomed in, so we'll zoom out. And if all I did there was scroll down, and it gives us some details. If we click on the details, we get some more details about it, including the materials, dimensions, etc. And if we come back, we can zoom in, as we did before. Not to the same extent. Oh, yes, we can. And in some ways, this is a more recent digitization. I think it's a little bit more accurate than the one on Google Arts and Culture. But to be honest, either one would suffice. And again, you can drag around the image to look closely at it. So you can see here that the pearl in the pearl earring is really only just suggested. When we zoom back out, we can see that. So by looking for who actually owns the artwork, we can get the most accurate representation of the artwork on the web. Now, coming back to Google Arts and Culture, this is the home page. These topics, articles, stories change on a regular basis. If you scroll down, you can see, you can choose to look at particular types of museums. There are different types of activities that you can look at. You can create an account and record, make a list of your favorite paintings. You can see I've got Starry Night. So here we have some other ones that they've recommended to me based on that. You can explore in a museum or dip into other topics. These change on a regular basis, all of these, and they aim to make them fairly topical as well. You can also search either by an artist or a museum or a painting or a topic. And I'm going to search for a topic. So this is about women's suffrage, and we can see we've got 3 themes related to it, 4 collections, including the National Susan B. Anthony Museum in the United States. We've got stories that have been written about it using items on the website. And here we have all of the digitized images that you can look at related to suffrage. And down here, you can make your own use galleries and make them public so that other people can look at them. And if we look at this one, Narrating Women, you can see there's quite a substantial essay with it, talking about the images and then the images themselves that you can then look at. And all of these are taken from Google Arts and Culture. And it shows you which museums that the images have actually come from. So this is quite a good website to use in your research. Now, I've also put together under our library research guide under the school's website, this is under student resources. Under Find, you see I've got Find an Image. I've got some tips there about looking for images. I've also gathered together links in 2 image collections that are really quite good. And I've grouped them by country or region, but also by topic. So if we come to science collections, for instance, we come down to the Wellcome collection. Now, the Wellcome collection is for the history of medicine. So if you're looking for old images related to anatomy or medical science of some sort, this is a good website to come to. So if we look for microscope, and click on search. Now this searches the library as well as the collection, and you can see there are images here, as well as books that have been, I think some have been digitized, that you can then look at. Or under here you can choose just to look at images, and there you can see images of antique microscopes and images taken using these antique microscopes. So hopefully you'll find some of those collections quite useful to you. Now, if you're looking for Australian artworks, then you come to Trove. And again, you can see the spotlight articles on the homepage do change regularly. And today I'm just going to look for, I'll look for Yvonne Komatry, but I'm going to look for her in images. And you can see here there's quite a number of images of her artworks, and the total number of results is 27. If you only want to look at those that are freely available to look at online, just click over here on the right hand side, and then you can have a look at all of them. Just open this in a new tab, and if you want to see it in its original spot, go to View, click here, once it's finished loading, and here it is at the National Gallery of Victoria, along with all the details about it. Alternatively, if I was to look for someone like Arthur Boyd, and I'm looking within images, you see that there are photographs of Arthur as well as of his artworks. So I'm going to, over here in format, say I only want to look at artworks. And again, I only want to look at those that are freely available online. So if I look at this one, and again, come to View, this is at the National Archives of Australia. And here's the image, along with details. So That's Trove. Now suppose you've found an image online and it doesn't give you many details other than, in this case, the title and the artist and the date it was made. And you think, I'd really like to know some more about this particular artwork, particularly if you're going to be using it in an assignment. So I'm just going to open the image in a new tab. I'm going to copy the web address because I just want the image. And then I'm going to do a reverse image search. You can do this with Google Images. My preference is tineye.com. So I paste in the web address and do a search. And it tells me that this image is available on over 3,000 different web pages. I mean, that could be a little bit confusing, having to look through that. But if you come down and have a look, you see it's here on Wikipedia and it's on Wikimedia Commons. And if I come to the Commons link, it tells me that it's in the Lembach House collection, which suggests that it's actually owned by the Lembach House Museum. So if I click on Lembach House, and here's the Wikipedia article on it, if I scroll down, I say, oh, they've got some images on Google Arts and Culture. So I come here, I have a look. They've only got 22 items, and I can't see the Kandinsky there. So I'll come to the other link, which is their own website, and here I'll do a search, and Sammlung Online, if I just translate, I'm in Google Chrome, so I can use Google Translate, Collection Online, click there, and now I can do a search for Kandinsky. I've picked up the wrong spelling there. That's the one that I want. Sorry about that. And now we have images. You see there's quite a lot more images than there were on Google Arts and Culture. And here's the one that we were looking for. Now at the moment it's all in German, so I just click on Google Translate. And now I have the details of it. And I can zoom in, drag around to have a closer look at it. And close up here. So even when you find an image on the web and you're not sure where it's come from, reverse image lookup is a way of tracking down where those images came from originally, or at least finding the similar variations that will lead you to the original, as we have in this case. So hopefully all of that will help you with your search for images.